Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Let's go. As you can see here, now I don't know when you're going to see this. I hope I get it out today or tonight, but I'm recording this on the 17th. So yeah, 1 month. 1 month until the Indiana Fever take on the Chicago Sky and Haley Van Lith, who will, of course, be having absolute nightmares leading up to that game since, you know, the last two final eights of well, I shouldn't say of Haley Van Lith's career, although, yeah, this year lost two, but the two against Clark, she dropped, what, 41 and 40, or is it 41 and 41 back to back against HVL in the final eights, Clark's junior and senior year. Now, there are games on the 16th, but as we all know, the season and the road to the Indiana Fever's WNBA Championship in 2025 starts May 17th. I just want to check something out. Now, I will probably, if you all want me to, I don't know, I may do, shorter videos that are more deep dives into individual players. Note to self, close your window. It's too nice out to do that. I haven't had a day like this in a while. But anyway, I want to go through the roster, right? We've got 15. We have Kelsey Mitchell, Natasha Howard, Aliyah Boston, Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hull, Brianna Turner, Damiris Dantas, Jillian Aline, sorry, Yvonne Jim. I don't know how to, Jim, or is she just is that Jay silent? Y'all let me know. Jaylen Brown, Michaela Timpson, Caitlin Clark, Bree Hall, DeWanna Bonner, and Sydney Colson. That's 15. Now, I know a lot of people say, oh, well, they're only going to be able to carry 11 because of the salary cap. I think maybe it depends. I think they're going to find a way to carry 12. I would hope, I should say, because especially with the way they play, with injuries that can happen, I think things get risky if you try and carry 11. So here's the deal. It's got, let's say it's going to go 15 to 12, and it may go 11. But for me, barring trades, right? They may free something up with a trade. If they find something that they just can't pass up, one of those names that you think is going to have significant minutes may end up somewhere else before the season starts. And I'm looking at this list. For me, what stands out when I look at contracts, right? We've got, I think, Jillian's on a training camp contract. Jaylen Brown's on a training camp contract. Um, Brianna Turner's on an unprotected contract, which I also believe that if she gets waived before the regular season starts, her money doesn't count against the cap either. So I'm looking at this besides the rookies, most likely to not be on the roster would be Brianna, Jillian, and Jaylen Brown, right? That's three right there. That would knock it down to 12. And I'm not saying it's them because, again, the rookies, Yvonne might not make it. Bree Hall might not make it. If Bree Hall makes it, she's another guard. Does that mean someone like, I don't know, Sophie Cunningham or Lexi Hull or Sydney Colson gets traded? I don't think they're trading Sydney Colson because they want that veteran backup point guard. But I'm looking at this as most likely, and this is a short video. I just kind of wanted to go over this because there is a month from, and I want to start doing some stuff in this month that's Fever specific, maybe kind of deep dives into players or what the expectations are with the team in terms of how they're going to play and so forth. Is I think, in looking at this roster, I think, you've got, believe Michaela Timpson's going to make the team. I think she's most likely the only rookie. But a lot of people were like, well, there's no space. Well, there is when when you look at the contracts, you've got ones for me that compete. The three rookies with Brianna Turner, with Jillian Aline, and with Jaylen Brown because of the contract structure. And like I said, they might look to free up by trading someone else. And they've got flexibility and positional wise, right? They've got a lot of guards. But Lexi Hull also, I guess you could say, the Fever played a lot of three guard, but technically, and she's playing the small forward. Sophie Cunningham can play that same position, right? Damiris Dantas can play forward/center, which is also what Jillian can play. Jaylen Brown is a guard forward, so she's kind of also got that covered. And then of course Caitlin Clark, DeWanna Bonner, small forward, but she can play guard. Sydney Colson is a guard. So it's going to be, if I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, two of the rookies aren't coming back. And then depending positionally on what they want, I think you've got Jalen or Jillian. Brianna Turner, from everything I've seen when she arrived in Indiana, she's been in the gym every chance she gets. Uh, her numbers aren't that great. I mean, so I don't know. We have to see how training camp goes and what Stephanie is looking at in terms of the rosters positionally and the flexibility, which is what I'm talking about. You've got a number of players here that can play multiple positions. All right, Sophie and Lexi, guard, small forward. DeWanna Bonner, guard, small forward. She probably could play a little power forward if need be. You know, she's not big, but she's tall and long, so that makes some nightmare matchups for some power forwards if Bonner's got good position because they can't really shoot over her. You know, that she makes things difficult that way. Dantas can play forward or center, like I said. So I'm looking at I'm going to say right now, the two draft picks, Vaughn and Bree, are gone. And then it's probably between Jillian and Jalen, and that may become a positional thing. You know, Stephanie White's saying, and I don't want Dantas playing too much center. Jillian can, or maybe she just wants three players that can play center. It depends. So yeah, but I'm looking at those are the ones that are battling it for me. We've got Brianna Turner. I think she's most likely to stay, being the veteran pickup. Jillian, Jalen. Those are the three that were on the roster before the draft that are most likely gone. And I don't mean all of them. I'm saying it might only even be one of them, but I'm saying of the 12 that were on the roster before the draft, those are probably the only three that you could say are in any kind of danger. I think the rest of the players are making the team, or they're still going to be in the league, but they might not be a Fever if they get traded. You know, the Fever could be looking to free up some space. I mean, we don't know. Hey, that's sports, man. Sometimes trades come out of nowhere. Just look at Luka and the Anthony Davis trade that like was absolute destroyed the NBA. No one could believe that happened. They're still talking about it because of the fallout, but I'm going to leave it there. Like I said, if you guys are interested, I'll do some videos that are more, player specific to the team. But there's a month to go. I wanted to get a quick video out with an overview and kind of who I think needs to have a strong training camp, the players that most likely could or could not be here. The three rookies, Brianna Turner, Jillian Aline, and Jaylen Brown. I think those are the six that are like the ones, the ones that need to perform. And I'm going to leave it there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Really do appreciate all your support. And I will talk to you later.